This program is brought to you by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC.
This is NDDC Today.
Good evening. It looks like it's a season of project commissionings at the NDDC. The commission is set to cut the tape of some of its projects in Rivers and Akwa Ibom states. Indeed, it's a reflection of the new thinking at the NDDC. It seems that no project embarked upon by the Commission will be left abandoned anymore. These and others will bring you in today's episode of NDDC Today. I am Patrick Oke. The Nigeria Police Force is said to have a brand new police barracks in Rivers State, courtesy of the NDDC. Located in Amagwa in Ikwere local government area, the police barracks, which has been under construction since 2012, will house the Special Protection Unit, Base 6 of the force. Come Tuesday, the 29th of this month, this magnificent barracks complex will be commissioned by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, and handed over to the police authorities by the NDDC. In this special report, we'll bring you the story of the making of this police barracks, which is expected to help ease the challenges of insecurity in Rivers State and indeed the Niger Delta region in general.
The Interim Administrator, CEO of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Mr. Effiong Akwa, on assumption of leadership of the NDDC in December 2020, promised to take bold steps to reposition the operations of the Commission for effective delivery of its mandate, as well as the completion of ongoing projects spread across the region, among other functions of his office, for the overall development of the Niger Delta region. 10 months down the line, Mr. Akwa's promises are now being realized across board, as several projects that were embarked upon by the Commission prior to his assumption of office have been completed and commissioned, while some are in various stages of completion and are awaiting commissioning. How did the Interim Administrator become the master game changer? Until Mr. Effiong Akwa's appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, many significant projects of the Commission, such as the uncompleted prototype student hostel projects in different university campuses in the Niger Delta, roads, shore protection works, electricity, housing projects of the Commission, to mention just a few spread across the length and breadth of the Niger Delta, were left unattended. And that's not all. Many completed projects were not commissioned and handed over to the benefiting communities or institutions that such projects were meant for. This trend of events had dampened the hope of many Niger Deltans, a trend Mr. Akwa said he needed to reverse very quickly on assumption of office. To achieve this task, the NDDC Chief Executive Officer inaugurated the NDDC Reforms Committees, chaired by the Commission's Director of Information Technology, Mr. Anselm Agomo, and the Project Commissioning Committee, chaired by Director of Projects Management, Engineer Julius Tonye George. While the Reforms Committee was charged with the responsibility of looking inwards on how the NDDC operates and advise on better ways the Commission can be run better, the Projects Commissioning Committee's terms of reference included helping the Commission identify its completed projects spread across the region and getting them ready for commissioning and handing over to the benefiting communities, thereby enabling them take ownership of such projects. Few weeks after the committees were inaugurated, they swung into action. The Project Commissioning Committee team moved from project sites and states across the Niger Delta to identify and ascertain the levels of completion of the Commission's different projects. On completion of its assignment, the committee's report gave the interim administrator an insight into all the commission's projects and what was needed to be done in each of them, whether on a long or short-term basis, all in a bid to get the projects to work again and serve the region as expected. One fallout of the project commissioning's committee's report is the identification of the NDDC project of the Special Protection Unit Base 6 Police Barracks in Omagwa, Port Harcourt, the River State capital, as one of the significant projects of the NDDC that the Commission cannot afford to abandon, especially as a result of the insecurity challenges in the region. The project, which commenced in 2012, was abandoned due to budgetary constraints. The NDDC interim administrator and his team visited the project site and promised to fast-track its completion.
Administrator visited this place precisely March 27th of this year, and then he gave the marching order that this project must be commissioned in its time. And since then, that's why you see all the activities going on. And then, to the glory of God, we're almost at the verge of it.
When people say that NDDC has nothing to do, NDDC is just members of the public castigate NDDC, it's because most of these things have not been publicized. Can you see this? Most state government don't have the capacity to put up this.
And what is the significance of the location of this barracks to the security challenges in River State?
The SPU building, people for emphasis, in case people don't understand, is one of the things conceived by NDDC board. The fact that if you see where those projects are sited, is proximity very close to the airport. And that zone very close to the airport is a very dangerous place where you have these bad boys. Normally, so we thought it that some of these police officers that are posted to the state, so the police people also approach us on the issue of accommodation and all that. So we decided to put that block of barrack. The implication of that for the general security well-being cannot be overemphasized. It's proximity to the airport. I mean, when the police are there, no, of course safety will be assured in the whole of that area.
In keeping to his promise, all is now set for a date with history at the Special Protection Unit Barracks come the 29th of September 2021. This magnificent complex, made up of 164 flats, an administrative block and other ancillary buildings, will be commissioned by the NDDC. Each flat is well furnished with beddings and settees, as well as air conditioners and fans for the comfort of the occupants.
In short, it's a police formation on its own with armory, with guard room and all that, parade ground and all.
When our crew visited the site a few days ago, finishing touches were being carried out to ensure that everything is set for the commissioning ceremony. These included landscaping, installation of plumbing and electrical fittings, and so on.
The work is going on movingly. As you are here, you see every person is busy because the VP is coming to commission this place by Tuesday.
This indeed will be another bold testimony of the new thinking at the NDDC to ensure that no project is abandoned anymore and that all projects are completed and handed over to their beneficiaries.
It makes me happy because this is one of the things that we are expecting our government to be doing, and it has contributed in no small measure to the development of Niger Delta and Nigeria as a whole.
It is on record that right from the inception of the Niger Delta Development Commission in the year 2000, the Commission has always intervened in security matters of the region, either by way of donating vehicles or other operational gadgets, or the renovation of residential quarters for security personnel, and many more.
The Nigeria Police said to benefit from NDDC's infrastructural development efforts. Now, still on the issue of the completion and commissioning of projects, the NDDC is also set to complete and commission its 1,000 bed space student prototype hostel at the University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. A few weeks back, the interim administrator of the NDDC, Effiong Akwa, visited the site of the project to see firsthand how the project was progressing. We bring you that report as well as show you efforts by the NDDC over the years to assist Nigerian universities in the region to ease the problem of accommodation in universities through its prototype student hostels, thereby ensuring that students undertake their studies in a conducive atmosphere.
The interim administrator of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC, Mr. Effiong Akwa, has assured that the 1,000-bed space hostel at the permanent site of University of Uyo, UNUYO, will be completed and commissioned in the next 2 weeks. Akwa spoke during a courtesy visit to the Vice Chancellor of UNUYO, Professor Nyakudo Ndayo, at the university campus in Uyo recently. He stated that the NDDC's commitment to the completion of the Students' Hostel project is as a result of a directive from President Muhammadu Buhari through the Minister for Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, to ensure the completion of projects in the Niger Delta region, especially those that touch the lives of the people of the region.
When this hostel is completed in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be a model hostel in the country that is supported by 2 giant standby generating sets with the cellular lights surrounding it, with the perimeter fencing secured with barbed wire. We are going to make sure for students leisure hours. We have made provision for 2 dormitories. One for the female students and the other one for the male students, and it's going to be supported by Wi-Fi service.
He said that the University of Uyo plays a critical role in the economy and lives of the people of Akwa Ibom State and the South-South region as a whole. The NDDC boss observed that in the era of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is necessary to assist universities to properly and comfortably accommodate their students in order to ensure sufficient provision for social distancing in their hostels.
This will help the university, this will help Nigeria, this will help the economy to fight the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, because students as of now run the risk of throwing themselves everywhere in the society. Some of them run innocently into wrong hands in the society and they could not face their studies.
Receiving the visitors from the NDDC, Professor Ndayo noted that the need for the new students' hostel has taken on urgency due to the prevailing need to provide the university's undergraduates with a conducive learning and living environment in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to him, there is a need to pull out students from the surrounding villages where they currently reside and host them in a conducive environment fit for learning. He commended the interim administrator for reviewing NDDC's policy regarding the Foreign Postgraduate Scholarship Program, stating that the previous system where the Commission sponsored students on foreign scholarships for postgraduate studies was not sustainable, adding that it was better to train the students in universities in the Niger Delta region.
Because by the time we send people outside the country, you can study engineering, study medicine and all that. We don't want to think about anything, even capital flights. We can replicate something to most universities in Nigeria. For example, we can say University of Uyo, take up engineering, then you go to engineering. Those who want to study engineering in Nigeria, go to the University of Uyo. You can pick another faculty in that university to go to it. And that will help us in any way you want to think of. In the sense that instead of spending money to save people outside, they are here.
The NDDC boss and his host later went on an inspection tour of the facility. Speaking after the inspection tour, the NDDC boss assured that the Commission will assist universities in the region to ensure that their students undertake their studies in comfort. He said that the project had reached 95% completion, leaving only external works and landscaping.
The confidence we have is that this project is going to be completed in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Specifically in the month of August, we are going to hand this over to the University of Uyo. It is a project that has 1,000 bed space for students.
The Vice Chancellor of UNIUYO, Professor Nyakudo Ndiayo, thanked the NDDC for assisting the university to ease the pressure of accommodation by building a modern hostel for the students.
I want to use this opportunity to thank him, thank the Minister for National the Niger Delta Commission, the President for doing wonderful work. I am too sure, very sure, looking at the facilities on ground, what will be brought in here, there's no doubt that of the fact that we will produce many first class and 2-1. Because when you have comfort in the hostel, sleep with your 2 eyes closed, have way to exercise and all that, you'll be a total student.
A representative of the contractors handling the project gave assurances that the project will be delivered on schedule.
The Niger Delta makes up 23% of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with a population of over 20 million people. 60% of Niger Delta are youth. About 2 million of the youth are students in tertiary institutions, spread across the 28 universities and 26 polytechnics in the Niger Delta. In this highly modernity-conscious region, education is an industry. People here feel utterly irrelevant without it. As a result, its higher institutions are packed full, year in, year out, with as many unadmitted as there are those admitted. Pressure on higher education facilities here are on the richer scales. Accommodation, the most visibly hit. This scene tells the typical story of a higher institution accommodation facility in the Niger Delta. Packed rooms, failed toilet facilities. A claustrophobic nightmare. A breeding ground for all sorts of deviant and immoral behavior. In 2004, the NDDC awarded contract for the construction of the 19 prototype hostel projects in 17 universities across the 9 states of the Niger Delta. In July 2013, the NDDC prototype hostel project at the Imo State University of Owerri became the first to be completed and commissioned. It all emerged at a colorful ceremony. The project was the first hostel for students on the university campus. The mega hostel projects have 176 rooms with the capacity of over 500 bed spaces, including 48 bed spaces for physically challenged students. The hostels each come with standard electrical fittings, wardrobes, fans, air conditioners, 36 bathrooms and toilets, an administrative block with offices, stores, supermarkets, cyber cafe, as well as games room and student common room. On the project's bill is also a waterworks with a 20,000-liter overhead tank, a surface tank and a water treatment plant. In December 2013, the NDDC prioritized the completion of ongoing projects. The fast-track projects received the necessary attention in terms of funding and supervision. This led to the completion and commissioning within weeks of the hostel project at the Federal University of Technology Obinze Owerri, early in February 2014. In the following month, March 2014, the NDDC was at the University of Benin for the commissioning and handover of the University of Benin hostel complex. The NDDC was not done yet with hostel commissioning for that year, as in November, the completed Delta State University Abraka hostel project was commissioned and handed over to the institution, making it the fourth of the fast-track projects.
In July 2015, the prototype hostel at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Akwa Ibom State, and the Michael Okpara University, Umudike in Abia State were commissioned and promptly handed over to the universities. In spite of some setbacks, life has just taken a new turn in the universities in the Niger Delta.
It's a very beautiful place, actually. I mean, the first day I stepped in here, I was like, wow, is this really our hostel?
I'm so happy to be here because it's specially made for me. I came in here and I made the bed, the wardrobe, the reading table, and also the toilet.
In this hostel, students are really happy here. Thank NDDC.
The 36-year-old River State University of Science and Technology, UST, as it is popularly called, is the first technological university to be situated within the Niger Delta region and is one of the beneficiaries of the over 500-bed modern hostel built and delivered by the Niger Delta Development Commission. This magnificent edifice is divided into 3 floors, with all rooms furnished with beds, mattresses, pillows, ceiling fans, electrical fittings, wardrobes, reading tables and chairs. 2 rooms share a bathroom and toilet facility, while rooms for disabled students are all en suite. All a student needs is to just move in with clothing and books, as everything else is made available by the NDDC. This gesture has greatly enhanced the standard of living for the students of the university. The hostel has 2 common rooms, including other state-of-the-art facilities such as a beautiful internal courtyard for relaxation and a 24-hour security service. The situation is the same in other tertiary institutions across the Niger Delta, where the prototype hostels are being commissioned. Some have other aesthetics like a bookshop, a photo studio, games rooms, barbing salon, and a beauty parlor, amongst others. Here at the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike in Abia State, the same superstructure is replicated with all the facilities and furnishings. The students just move in with their clothes and books. According to students and school authorities at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, the NDDC hostel meets up the present and future needs of the medical students. Indeed, for them, it's a timely intervention.
Seriously, it's something the Nigerian government has really done to make sure that medical program and the University of Uyo medical students are quite comfortable, and for that, I and all other medical students are most grateful.
One can therefore understand the joy of the university community for the great relief which these hostels have brought to the students and their parents. The NDDC is not resting on its oars. With a revived mandate for change and a committed management, more smiles await youths of the Niger Delta.
We hope to bring you the report of the commissioning of that project when it takes place. So on this note, we come to the end of this week's program just to show you that infrastructure development is one of the indices of development. And since the NDDC has to meet this mandate, it's trying to do its best from whatever angle it can. I'll be here every week to tell you how the NDDC is progressing in this regard. Thank you for watching. We'll see you same time next week.